So now it's after Tobey Maguire's funeral, and the terrorist guys are dropping him and fell into the lake guy off at this terrorist camp or something. So they put these guys underground so they won't escape, but then they look out through the boarded windows, but they're underground, but they're not. Now if they were to be looking horizontally out at the terrorist guys, they'd have to be like on a cliff or something, right? But they're not. It shows the flat terrain where they're stationed. Anyway, they're looking through the windows so they can gain superhuman vision powers with the ability to recognize faces on pictures from a ridiculous distance away. And the reason for that is so that they can deduce from the photographs that the terrorists want to harm their families somehow, for no reason.
You don't have a wife. You don't have family. I'm the only person you know. It's Private Willis and Captain Cahill. You know nothing else.
I don't get that. Is that supposed to be like the #1 fear out there? Like, terrorists are gonna harm your families in the United States? How would they even do that? That doesn't make any sense. So Jake Gyllenhaal's character calls up Natalie Portman at like 3 in the morning saying he's at a bar and he needs some money to pay for his tab. She shows up and she brought her children with her in the vehicle.
Tommy, I have 2 little girls sleeping in a parking lot at 3 in the morning.
And from that we're supposed to get that she's very protective of her children because she's not even allowing them to sleep in the house by themselves for like 20 minutes or however long. But then she lets a drunk man carry her child up the stairs.
I don't think I should be carrying a child.
Just put her in her bed, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And apparently she's also okay with her kids using the stove while she's asleep. So back in Afghanistan, Tobey Maguire and What's-His-Face have been there for 2 months, and it looks like they've shaved within the past week.
I've been president of this shithole for 2 fucking months.
Wait, who is this guy again? I forget who he is. I can't remember exactly what relationship to the character he has.
I should have drowned in that lake.
Oh, thank you, movie. Good thing the dialogue is dumbed down enough for a 4-year-old to understand, otherwise I might have forgot. So Tobey Maguire reminds him not to give out any information.
You remember what I told you? No information. You give them nothing. You give them nothing, Private.
Because apparently they have some valuable information about their families. Then he kind of just defeats the purpose of telling him that by making it blatantly obvious that he has information in front of the terrorists.
Don't speak! What? Don't speak! Not another fucking word!
And now Jake Gyllenhaal's character changes completely without any real development or anything leading up to it. He decides to fix up and paint Natalie Portman's kitchen. So yeah, it turns out that the only reason they put all that attention on the kitchen looking crappy earlier was so that Jake Gyllenhaal could look nice cleaning it up.
I'm sorry. How do you stay in this kitchen?
And then they try to make the kids look cute by painting, but they're obviously not painting. Like, they're obviously using rollers with no paint on them. They don't even really try to make it look real. They think you're too stupid to notice. Then one of Jake Gyllenhaal's friends gets paint spilled on his pants and says they're brand new.
These are brand new pants.
Why would you wear brand new pants while you're painting?
The fuck? Just like propelled a rocket with armor lock.
Shut up! So now we're back in Afghanistan, and the terrorists continue to torture the Marines for information. But the only information they seem to care about is that they have family members. And this doesn't make any sense. They don't have any information. They're just like, this is so fucking stupid. What are these terrorists? These are not real terrorists. These are the terrorists that you make up in your head after watching Glenn Beck and Bill O'Reilly for 8 months straight.
You have 2 daughters.
So what? So then after a painful montage of Jake Gyllenhaal playing with the kids, they try to add in some romantic dialogue to make it seem as if their relationship didn't come out of nowhere. The problem is that it did. So then you get lines like this.
I used to listen to this song, like, over and over again.
Me too.
Well, no way. We were both tools that listened to the radio when we were 18. Oh, let's kiss. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Oh no, it was a huge mistake. I regret it. So then Tobey Maguire is forced to kill the fell into the lake guy for no real reason because they're terrorists and they do stuff like that and, you know, they're scary. And then the writers realize, holy crap, it's been like an hour and 15 minutes through the movie and nothing's happened. So then Tobey Maguire is able to escape the terrorist situation quickly and conveniently. And then the family just has a lifeless and emotionless reunion. Okay, am I the only person that thinks that Tobey Maguire looks a lot like Hilary Swank in Boys Don't Cry? Tobey Maguire walks around the renovated house like nothing's happened.
Wow. It's amazing.
Then his family follows him into his room for no reason and just stares at him creepily. Awkward scene. Long and awkward scene. And then there's this scene. Now, I know that this woman is only here to serve as a plot device, so people can be reminded of how bad Tobey Maguire feels that he killed that guy and nobody knows about it. Ha ha ha. But what reason does she even have to be there? No, she comes over to apologize for hating Tobey Maguire in a dream she had.
But I hated him. In the dream, I hated him for being alive. That's why I came over to apologize. I'm sorry.
So now Tobey Maguire's all like, you're sleeping with my wife. And Jake Gyllenhaal's character is like, no, I'm not. And he's just like, I don't believe you.
Don't bullshit me.
All of this tension comes out of nowhere. You just flip a fucking switch and it's just like, ding, this character is completely irrational now. Ding, this character is level-headed now, even though they used to be irrational. Ding, Tobey Maguire's daughter is gonna hate on him and act a hoe trying to get reactions out of him during her sister's birthday dinner.
I didn't get anything that I wanted on my birthday. And you were in stupid Afghanistan.
This is actually the funniest scene in the movie. Like, all of this bullshit is out of nowhere.
Anyone does it. How did you do it?
Isabel. Stop it.
What got you into it? I genuinely like people. And I thought I might as well like them.
Enough! Couldn't you just stay dead?
Isabel.
You're just mad because Mom would rather sleep with Uncle Tommy than you.
Isabel! Why would you say that?
Mom and Uncle Tommy have sex all the time.
Enough!
Okay, I understand if you're a little kid and you like to lie through your teeth all the time, but why do you even know about sex? Like, why are you saying that? Because they didn't have sex. They, like, kissed once, and then were like, oh, I regret it. And they didn't do anything, which is kind of stupid. I kind of wish that the relationship went a little further, because then it might be a little bit interesting, you know? You watch the trailer for this movie, and you're just like, oh, so I guess Jake Gyllenhaal and Natalie Portman are sleeping with each other, and then there's this whole awkward Tobey Maguire coming back thing, and then you start to ask yourself questions. You're just like, I wonder exactly how they're gonna make it so that people think he's dead, even though he's alive. No, they just bullshitted it and thought you wouldn't think of dog tags. And then you started thinking, I'm kind of interested to see how this will go over, considering Jake Gyllenhaal sleeping with Nat. No, not even happening. As soon as there's an opportunity in the script for something interesting to happen, they just shut it down. They're like, our audience is too stupid. You know who's gonna watch this? Idiots. You know who's gonna love this movie? Idiots. You're an idiot if you love this movie. I said it. So later that night, Jake Gyllenhaal's character leaves his parents' house without saying anything, and I guess they assume that it's to go over to Tobey Maguire's house and intrude on his family life. So then they phone the police because they're so smart.
You gotta call the police, Hank.
Yes, dear, for the plot device. So this is about the time where the writers go, holy shit, it's like an hour and a half through the movie, we better wrap this up. So then they get Tobey Maguire to just freak out a bunch and break a bunch of shit. So you're like, that kitchen was such an important thing in the movie, so now he's breaking it. I'm so emotionally disturbed and scarred, and this is such an emotional scene, oh my god. And then Jake Gyllenhaal kind of just shows up because, you know, he had, like, telepathy. So then Tobey Maguire decides he's gonna wave his gun around at the cops for the sake of making the audience feel some forced tension. He drops the gun and then everything's okay again. Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here and pull a quick preemptive self-defense. Just kidding, this movie is indefensible. Go cry. If there's one thing that I'd have to say is this movie's biggest flaw, it's that it's not self-aware. This movie takes itself way too seriously. It's a funny movie, but it tries to be a dramatic Oscar winner. Do I honestly even have to keep going? Do I have to say any more? Fuck. Okay, this review's over. I'm done. Your movie fucking sucks, bitch.